Welcome back, everybody. Our next guest is an Academy Award-nominated director, writer, actress you know from films such as The Lost Daughter, The Dark Knight, Crazy Heart, and shows like The Deuce and The Honorable Woman. Her new film, The Bride, is in theaters and IMAX now. Let's take a look.
I am a monster.
Yeah. So am I.
I don't want to let you go.
I don't think that's my name anymore.
Find a new one. Let's start over.
Yeah, a new name.
Yes. Yes!
The Bride.
I love it.
Please welcome back to the show, Maggie Gyllenhaal, everybody!
I'm good.
Congratulations. This film is like nothing I've ever seen. It is so visually stunning. It's also it's written in a way, I mean, genuinely funny moments, genuinely terrifying moments, like violent moments. Like when you set out to make it, were you planning to make something that had just so many genres weaving together like this?
I think I just was trying to express the things that were on my mind, you know? And I think actually, I sort of have this feeling that we're almost post-genre.
Yeah, I think that's true.
About, like One Battle After Another. Such
Yes.
a great movie that I really admired. What genre is that?
Right.
And to me, I think, especially when there are people coming from very different experiences behind the camera now more than ever, maybe like one genre doesn't cut it.
Well, I also think, you know, as human, when you live a human existence, like over the course of any given day, you're having drama in your life, you're
Totally
having
agree.
humor in your life.
Totally.
You know, you can feel grief one moment and then be laughing the next. And so I think
Absolutely.
sometimes when we allow them all together, it feels like a more authentic experience.
Yeah, and it's just like the language I speak in.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's just like, I think to just be hemmed into one genre, at least for me, would be a shame.
So your directorial debut was The Lost Daughter in 2021. You also wrote that script, directed it, an incredible film. It felt grounded, like in a way that this wasn't, because you know this is again like something I've never seen before. Do you feel like you had to did you have to direct a film like The Lost Daughter first before you were willing to take this sort of incredible swing of this one?
It's so funny. Everyone keeps calling this like a big, wild swing, and it's just what's happening in my mind.
Right. So maybe that's where just like your mind.
I mean, people are like, it's radical, it's so wild, and it's like starting all these conversations online, and I'm like, it's just me. You know? It's just what like.
Oh no!
comes
So
out.
now are you like, oh no?
I'm like, I don't know. Honestly, I'm like, just come to the movies and see the movie.
Well, it's a movie.
It's
like in
a
the way
movie.
that like I think it's really special when you know, again, I feel like we get fewer and fewer movies, which can only be described as and it is grand. Maybe that's better than a big swing. There is a grandness to it that I really appreciate.
There is a grandness to it, and I also really appreciate that. I mean, let's say The Lost Daughter, which was a tiny movie, itty-bitty movie, and ultimately came out on Netflix, and they were incredible with it. They just got it all over the world. This is a movie made for a movie theater. I mean, this is a movie, I was thinking about this actually. I was thinking about Trainspotting. When I went to go see Trainspotting, and I was 17 or something, I went all by myself. And I was a different person when I walked out of that theater. And I went by myself and I sat with strangers in a movie theater. And I think, God, everyone in my life is kind of talking about how movies are dead and movies are over and like, you know, streaming is taking over. And I think if you love movies, go see them.
Yeah. Well,
And if you, there are some movies like The Lost Daughter, to be honest, could have been watched on your computer. That's okay. This movie is like a roller coaster. This movie is like you put your seatbelt on, you're sitting next to either a stranger or someone you went with, and you don't get off
Yeah.
until it's over. And then it feels like going to like a concert. you
It's
know?
fun. You mentioned that because by the way, I had the exact same. Trainspotting is one of those movies I remember. I know the theater I saw it
Me too.
in Chicago.
Me too.
I
I
remember
was
where
in
it was.
London.
But like, you also lose that feeling of like when you see a movie in a movie theater, you have to decompress when you walk out. Like one of the things about
Yeah.
seeing it on your computer is then the minute a movie ends, you can like go straight to your email, and there's
Yeah.
not that time in between where you kind of think about it.
That's true. And also, I think my movie, as you said, it's new.
Yeah.
It's different. It's in a different language. You have to kind of learn the language of it. And I think it's nice to have to go somewhere to do that. Like a friend of mine told me that they went to see my film on the weekend, and then and it's kind of of an older couple, and that they went to sushi and they met a friend, and they made like a night of it, which I do think that's what movies were supposed to be.
Yeah. You talk about how you have to learn the new language. You did also get to not fall back on, but have the benefit of working with people you've worked with before.
Yeah.
You directed Jesse before. You've worked with Christian Bale before. Your brother Jake's in it. Your husband Peter's in it. Is it nice? Do you love being able to go to work with people that you're close with like that?
I mean, I find one of my favorite things about directing, which I learned on The Lost Daughter and absolutely took with me onto this one, is that each actor needs to be spoken to and interacted with in a different way. Some actors, you can give them 7 notes that just occurred to you and they'll love them. And like Dakota Johnson, I think, is like that. And she'll just stick, whatever sticks, sticks.
Yeah.
If I tried that with Annette Bening, she would be like, walk away. But I learned that really quickly, and I took the note.
It's interesting because obviously you had been directed for the entirety of your
Yes.
career, but I guess that's something you have to actually be on the other side of to realize that like, everybody needs their notes a different way.
Well, no, I mean, honestly, I do think that having been directed for my entire
Yeah.
career massively impacted how I deal with actors. I
Right.
think I know as an actress that being seen, being given space to express myself, the reason I came to take this job, what I want to say, and really, to be just completely honest, being loved makes all the difference. And so I love them. I really do.
I also know you were someone who loves New York City, and you shot this film. Did you almost every borough, correct?
Yeah, I think we did hit every borough.
You hit every borough. There's a great moment in Washington Square Park, and I live near there. And it's funny because every now and then, obviously, people film in Washington Square Park all the time. And even though I'm in show business, every time I see a film crew truck, I'm like, oh my God, they're shooting a movie. Like I get so excited.
I know.
And
My husband always jokes, anytime he sees a film truck, in New York City, he says, why aren't I in that?
did you? But it must have been, somebody
Oh my
who's
God.
from New York. It must be crazy
It
to
was
have
amazing.
Washington Square Park to yourself.
It was amazing. And it wasn't just like Washington Square Park. Like it was like nighttime, major crane, beautiful, beautiful, like filming of this iconic place that's meant so much to me as a New Yorker.
Yeah.
That was very special. And, you get to see Frankenstein in Washington Square Park.
Yeah, Frankenstein in the park. I guess it must have been when you were shooting the film because I was walking through Washington Square Park with my sons one morning, bringing them to school, and Jessie was coming the other way. And she'd been on the show one time. I don't know her, but just,
Was she dressed as the bride?
She was not.
Okay.
But she, Jessie feels like she's like visiting this world. You know what I mean? She's like in a wonderful way. Like there's something like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like ethereal about
And
it.
yet, so human.
Yes.
Jessie Buckley can play a monster, and you can feel like that might be me. I've got a little monster too.
It was the best moment because she walked by and saw me and recognized me and then the boys, and she just went like, ah. And then just walked by, and my kids were like, who was that? She made a giant impact in a very brief amount of time.
She makes a giant impact, that woman.
It has been pointed out, I think very accurately, that Frankenstein and the Bride will be due to an incredible amount of wardrobe and makeup. Like just the vision of what they look like is so stunning. This, I feel like, is going to be a real Halloween go-to for people this year.
But you don't have to wait for Halloween.
This is See, this is one of those big swings that the rest of us aren't willing to do. Like, we're like, we'll do it, Maggie, but just please let us wait till Halloween.
Where's the black lipstick?
Yeah, it's a good look. Congratulations. It is really something to see. And let me echo the sentiment that seeing it on a big screen is the way to go. Thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to see you. Maggie Gyllenhaal, everyone. The Bride is in theaters and IMAX now. Stick around. We'll be right back.